Okay, so this video might upset a lot of people working in the crypto industry because I'm going to list the key reasons why crypto projects fail, and a lot of these reasons people make money from. So they're not gonna like this video. The truth is, I don't follow a crowd. I see this technology as revolutionary and I wanna make sure that we can grow it to its full potential. But these are the reasons that is stopping that. These reasons are gonna be very shocking for some of you watching the video, but it's the reason why 45% of VC-backed projects have already failed. It's also the reason why in just one quarter this year, 1.8 million tokens in Q1 died. These are shocking stats. And the impact of these is terrible, right? People's lives have been turned upside down. People have lost millions of dollars in crypto. This has to stop. And that is why I am creating this video. Now, for a little bit of context, I'm Jake on Block and I've been doing growth all of my adult life. I moved into Web3 growth 4 years ago now, and I worked on a project. Friends said, get involved, you're a growth hacker, the Web2 terms online business, come and help out with this project. So I did, and I realized that the opportunity to grow something in this space is so much bigger than Web2. But then I also realized, not sure after, that it's full of people in this space that are using these growth opportunities to extract and benefit themselves, which is why so many projects fail and why people are left burnt. But anyway, I just wanted to explain that so when you're watching this video, you understand where it's coming from. I'm in this industry, I have been every single day for 4 years. I do growth for a living and I have for a very long time. And I'm going to show you exactly why projects fail. So if you're building a project, you can avoid these mistakes and win. Or if you're just participating in crypto in general, you can look out for these mistakes to stop putting resources into projects that are doomed for failure. Let's get into it. Okay, so reason number one, marketing is not growth. This is going to shock a lot of people, especially the agencies out there that are making a living off of telling people that it is. So what do I mean by this? If you only do marketing, all you create is two things: hype and speculation. And these two things result in unsustainable growth, right? Unsustainable growth. And we've seen this so many times. New project launches, they tell us great story, good branding, nailing the marketing side. They launch their token, they create loads of hype and speculation around the launch of their token. Token goes up massively in value, but then there's nothing holding it up, right? And therefore the project ends up just diminishing and failing over time. So the correct approach, and this is where I want to caveat, marketing is very important to growth, but it's not the only type of growth. There are 5 types of growth. And marketing efforts, they should lead to product, because that's how we activate the next stage of growth, product-led growth. If you're just marketing for the sake of marketing, you're just going to create hype and speculation, which is going to pump the token, maybe affect the product, maybe affect the community, but there's no system there. It's going to be short-lived. So marketing is very important, but marketing on its own is not growth. That's reason number one. Okay, so reason number 2. People, projects, they use the token as a monetization tool, yeah? And not what they should be doing, which is using it as a growth asset. Now, what do I mean by this? So most projects launch a token to raise money off of, right? This is monetizing the token. On top of that, when they launch the project, they'll start selling the tokens into the market, monetizing them again, right? So their whole aim is to try and make money. Money, 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 greed, right? Make the money off the token. This is not how business works, right? Big companies that have IPO'd, for example, they make money through having a product, solving a problem, generating revenue from it, making profit. They're not just making money off of stocks. Maybe a few will, based on the success they've made of the business, but they don't just launch a stock out of thin air without doing anything first, then start selling that stock on hype and speculation, and then leave, right? This is stupid, right? What the token has to be done, and this is the great opportunity in crypto, is be used as a growth asset. Now, what do I mean by this? If you don't over monetize that token and you treat it as a growth asset, so you have things like real utility purchases and token usage coming into the token. You have maybe a revenue to buyback model or some form of business to token model that brings the success of your business into your token will appreciate over time. You're not selling, you're not trying to monetize it. All you're doing is creating a solid business, a solid product that's going to end up coming into the asset. And the asset will appreciate. And as we know in crypto, the actual best marketing, forget what anyone says, I don't have a green pen, so pretend that's green, is green candles, right? So you use it as a growth asset, people are rewarded through community ownership, token goes up in value, my bad, token goes up in value, green candles, everyone starts talking about you, and that's your best marketing and growth asset, which will fuel the front of the growth funnel all over again. So remember, token, people use to monetize, extract from the market. It should be used as a growth asset, nurtured over time, value increases, and this would lead to the best community growth you've seen, green candles, and we're away. Okay, reason number 3, projects fail. And this is the epitome of what we've just discussed in points 1 and 2, which is most projects, right? They only leverage 2 types of growth when there's 5 available. Let me explain exactly what I mean by this. So there are 5 types of growth in crypto. Marketing-led growth, product-led growth, business-led growth, asset-led growth, and community-led growth. 5 types. Now, most projects, what do? Marketing, yes, they all market. Product growth, absolutely not. Most projects don't even launch a product in year 1, or when they do launch a product, it doesn't have a real use case. No one really uses it. Business model, nope. Most projects just try and monetize the token. They don't ever generate revenue. There's a statistic saying that less than 20% of projects make more than $1,000 a month in revenue. Asset growth, no, they don't grow the asset. We've just discussed that already. Community growth, let's give it a half and half. So I'm saying 2, I'm being generous saying 2, right? Because they do try and nurture a community, but again, it's very short-lived and unsustainable based on failure point number 1 that I described. So when all you're doing is marketing to try and hit a community, look at all you're missing. This is the most important type of growth that led to the internet today, by the way, product-led growth. This is the key fundamental of growth, and most people don't use it. Business, you can't sustain yourself on selling tokens forever, right? That's why most projects die. They don't build a business model, they don't generate revenue, become profitable, fuel their business. And again, the token side of this is an absolute, I wish I could swear, but YouTube might, Anyway, asset-led growth, this is a disaster, right? Hardly anyone uses a growth asset. So again, it's going to end up diminishing, which is then going to wipe out community-led growth completely because everyone's just at a massive loss. And then all they're doing is trying to create more marketing to try and impact different things without any system whatsoever. So point number 4, and I've kind of just got into it, but no real business. The statistic actually is 85%, right, less than $1,000 a month in revenue. This is crazy, guys. Crazy. How can you create a business without generating revenue? Revenue is the result of building a product that solves a problem that people are happy to pay for in a value exchange. This is business. Projects are businesses, right? So how can the majority, the huge majority, never generate any revenue? Every project is just being funded by fundraising, and now the fundraising climate is much harder because, like I said at the start, 45% of VC-backed projects have failed. VCs aren't chucking money at any project anymore based on having a good idea. It's a different market. We have to create real businesses that generate real revenue because this is what's going to fuel the token. It's going to fuel the community. It's going to fuel the business to be able to scale up. To me, this is the most shocking stat in the space. So point number 5, Tokenomics focus on sell only. So what I mean by this is, there are so many people in this space that have made a living from being a tokenomics advisor, expert, whatever. But what they're doing is they're forecasting how many tokens a project's going to have and how those tokens are going to be allocated over time and sold into the market. What they're not doing is working out the opposite side of the market. Let me explain. And this is from someone, by the way, who dropped out of an economics degree at university. Anyway, I know a little bit about economics. So economics, how far I got in my course, is made up of two very clear things. Supply, demand, right? If your supply is high, what the tokenomics advisors are focusing on, and your demand is low because they're not focusing on it, guess what happens? Price down. Price goes down, right? Simple economics. This is a fact, okay? So tokenomics advisors that are going, oh, there might be a use case for the token here and over here, with no real metrics because the product hasn't proven there's a use case yet or a need for utility purchases. There's no real accurate forecast that can actually be delivered. What do we end up with? Price down every time. Like clockwork, every new token launch. So point number 5 essentially is tokenomics people, they focus way too much on supply and not the other side of the market, demand, which when you look at basic economics, leads to failure over the long term. And that is where the price goes down. It only ever goes up when demand is high, and demand is only ever high in most projects because of hype and speculation, which is short-lived, so it will end up coming very far down eventually. And point number 6, you all know I'm very, very keen about this point. No one focuses on product. Here's a stat for you. Less than 5%, right, of products in crypto have met product market fit. Now we have some great examples. Exchanges are really good businesses with product market fit as an example, but the majority of projects, they are not hitting product market fit. So their whole project, 95%, is based on never actually having a need in a market. Do you know how crazy that is? In the tech world, I would probably forecast it's between 15% to 20% in Web 2. This is a huge difference. Now, product market fit is not easy to get, right? But this is a massive difference between Web 2 and Web 3. So we have to ask ourselves, what are we really doing here? And for all the reasons I've explained today is the reason why we're here. I think we can hit this very easily. But all of the failure points are the reason we don't. People are too focused on trying to make a quick buck than build real products in crypto, and that's the fact. So point number 6, not enough focus on product, not trying to activate product-led growth, and that leads to failure. You can't build a sustainable ecosystem or a business without a product, and that's fact. Anyway, that's all of the points, but now what I'm gonna tell you, because you might be looking at this and going, yeah, but I could just launch a token and get rich. Number 1, the market is not there for that anymore, and number 2, there is a much greater way to make FU money in crypto. And I'm gonna explain that right now. FU money, right? If you do what I just said, you avoid those failure points. And the way to avoid those failure points is by building one thing and one thing only, a growth system. And that growth system focuses on the 5 types of growth. I'd suggest maybe watching 1 or 2 of my other videos where I go through growth system. But very simply, marketing into product, into business, into the asset, into community, and then back round again, right? Simple as that. That's the growth system. Now, if you build this, you avoid those failure points. And like I said, I'm going to drop a link in the description of this video to another video that walks through growth system, the metrics behind it, how to set one up, everything there for you to look at. But if you do this one thing, you create FU money. And how do you create FU money from this? Well, firstly, because your asset is going to last. So you're going to survive no matter what the market is. This is point number one, because your tokens are going to be supported, your business is going to be supported from the growth system. Number two, you're going to make money through the product and business from the growth system, away from the asset. Number three, you're going to create a huge brand based on the back of your community being rewarded, activating true community ownership. And number four, if you do these things, right, and you get this nailed, look at this. This is FU money. And I'm going to write it massively down here. Institutions, baby. Now, we have seen projects like Zcash 10x overnight in value because they've got an ETF approved and they have access to institutional funding. The institutions, all of the money is coming into crypto, but it's going into the real projects, the real assets that have value. Things like Ethereum, for example, soon probably Solana, Bitcoin digital gold. It's going into the assets that generate real value. Now, if you build a real growth system and it's supported to achieve these things, who's saying that you can't go after institutional money? Because you're going to be in the very upper echelons of crypto projects by just doing this one thing. And if you get to this point, and Zcash is a great example, and you get that institutional unlock coming into the market, look at what it can do. That's FU money. This isn't launching a coin and going to a couple of $1 million market cap, making 20, 30K at other people's expense and moving on. I'm talking hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars, right? Do you know how big this opportunity is? Especially when everyone else is doing what I just said, trying to launch a token, make a quick bit of money. This is FU money, FU money. And the opportunity is humongous, it's massive, because no one else is wanting to build a real project and build a real growth system to achieve this. I'm using all my energy on trying to get this point across. Very simple, avoid these mistakes. So, number one, avoid mistakes. How do you do that? You build the growth system. That is going to take care of most of those mistakes for you. And then you utilize that growth system, you get that live, and you start running up the bag. And then you pick up the phone and you try and get access to institutions. And if you do that, FU money and impact. So that is the video right there. I hope it's been useful. I don't want to see anyone who's watched this video making any mistakes. Build real businesses and look at what the result is. And what I'm going to do for you is one final thing, or two actually. First thing, I'm going to drop a video link in the description that's going to take you through growth systems and how you do that. The second thing I'm going to do is drop another link where you can book a call in with a member of the Magnet team for a free growth audit session. Now in this session, we're going to look at your project or your idea for your project. We're going to start helping you map out a real growth system for that project. We're not going to charge anything for that initial call whatsoever. It's a gift from me to you as I'm trying to build up my subscriber base. I'm trying to make this message loud and clear so we can make a true impact on this space. So they're free at the moment, and I hope by the time that you watch this video, there's still some sessions available. Click that link, book that in, and yeah, let's build real stuff together. Make FU money, baby.